Hey everybody, Justin with Mach Speed Hobbies again. In this particular video, we're going to be going through the binding setup process on the M2 helicopter. As you know, there is a ready-to-fly version that has a kind of a less fancy proprietary radio that comes with it. But if you're going to be using a Spektrum or Futaba, you'll either need a DSMX compatible satellite receiver. You do not actually have to have anything but the satellite installed, but you either have to have that or one of the S-Bus satellites from Futaba. We do carry both of those, and you'll see the link in the description. But you will need a spare Spektrum DSMX compatible receiver. Either borrow one from somebody, or I'm sure most of you guys already have an airplane or a helicopter that you could borrow a receiver from temporarily to bind this satellite receiver. So the first thing you need to do is like I said, you'll have to have a Spektrum compatible receiver that has a satellite serial port. I like the little Lemon RX DSMX satellites. They're nice and small and lightweight. So we've got that plugged up. I've also pre-installed the bind plug. So at that point, you will need to energize the the receiver. With a receiver pack is fine if you have something like a 2-cell LiPoly or a 4-cell NiCad, or you can even temporarily disconnect ABEC off of something to run it, just however you typically like to power up a receiver. So give me just a second, I'll hook the battery up. Everybody knows that with a Spektrum, as soon as when you got your bind plug in, as soon as you hook the battery up, the receiver and the satellite will go into bind mode. Okay, so as you can see, both the receiver and the satellite receiver are both flashing. So they're in bind mode right now. And then we're going to go over to the radio. Many of you guys probably already know how to do this, but we're going to show everyone. Go into system setup, hit yes, and we're going to go down to what we're going to do first is we're going to go to frame rate. So on frame rate, see this one has fully digital servos, so I would actually want to switch this to 11 milliseconds for digital servos instead of the standard 22. So I would usually do that first, and then we can go to bind, and then go to bind. Now, as everybody probably knows, you need to walk away from the model probably at least 20 or 30 feet, and then hit bind. Okay, so once your bind is complete, you'll come back to it and you'll notice that both of your lights are solid and you have a good bind. Okay, so at that point, we can go ahead and we can disconnect the power. We can turn our radio off temporarily. And that's it. At this point, all you need to do is, let's say if you have the DSMX satellite, you'll see on the board right here in the front, let's see if I can get a focus on that, where it says DSMX, that's where you would plug that satellite receiver in. The one next to it here, this empty, is for your Futaba S-Bus. So you'll see my little setup here. I've already done this one. You've got the satellite, I've just got it mounted to the side, and the serial cable plugged into the DSMX. So at that point, you're done. Wherever you borrowed this from can go back to wherever it was. You don't need the receiver pack anymore. The only reason you need that is just to get these little guys bound to that particular helicopter, and then you can plug it in, and then you're ready to fly. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps everybody out. By all means, please guys, like and subscribe our videos. Hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time we put out a new one. You guys have a great day.